All right, so let me tell y'all what just happened today, right? So, um, I've been telling you guys, like I've been trying to pay my Capital One bill since August 24th, and since then I've always had more than enough money to cover the bill. Like I was trying to pay $100, and on the 24th I had over $700 in my account. The payment never went through. They returned that one, right? So I'm like, why are they not taking the funds out the account? So I said, all right, maybe it was I don't know, maybe it was something else, right? I try to, I don't know, maybe think differently, whatever. I don't know. So I did it again. I put in the second one, made sure I left money in the account. Boom. Still didn't take the money out, and they returned the second one. So I'm like, I call my bank, I call Capital One, and I'm like, what is going on that, like, Capital One sends the request, right? Capital One server sends the request to be able to receive money, right? Or request money from my bank to basically pay the bill, right? Then all of a sudden, my bank, they're claiming that the card is fine because I'm still using the card. Like, whenever I go in a store, I can still use the card. If I go in the store, it lets me swipe, right? But then for whatever reason, whenever I try to do an electronic, transaction, it would not take any funds from my account. And I'm watching all the perps. They all look at me too. All the perps. Every perp gives off the energy that they already know something about you that's not even true. And then if they do know something that's true, they want to try to do whatever they can to make themselves feel better than you. But always remember, they got to break you down just so that they can feel up. Always keep that in mind. Anybody who gaslights you always try to break something down that's bigger than them. Always remember that. Think about it like this. There's something about you that they want that they don't have or they can't have. Always remember this. Don't nobody break into empty banks. Don't nobody break into empty homes. If someone goes through such an effort to hack or break into something, it's because there's something that it wants. And I use that word "it" purposely. There's something that it wants. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just have what's the words I'm looking for? Some amount of mercy, because I know a lot of these people are only going along with everything because they're afraid. Most people are only going along with gang stalking because they're afraid of what it would be like to actually be gang stalked, harassed. Basically, when you think about it, ain't that many people in this world are real, like, fighters fighters of the good fight. Now me, I'm gonna be real. I'm not that much of a confrontational person. But there's some things that I actually feel like you gotta say no to. Or some things you actually have to fight. And regardless of what the majority rule is or whatever the majority of people think, there are some things that you just have to actually fight. And you can't care what everybody else is thinking. Human trafficking is wrong. Child trafficking is wrong. Like forcing someone forcing someone into a gang lifestyle is wrong too. Everything is supposed to be a choice. You should always have a choice, right? You should always have a choice. This technology, this is not a choice. They pushed it on every single human being on this planet. Maybe every single human being. I don't know about indigenous areas or tribes and whatnot. I'm not sure about them, since they're not necessarily around electronics. What's happening in Maui? Come on now. I think we all know what's happening over there. It's a land grab. Come on now. We all know it's a land grab. The only ones who's probably saying that it's not a land grab are either the ones who are afraid to realize that the world is actually a lot darker than what they think, and then the ones who know it's a land grab because they're the ones that's supposed to benefit from the cleanup afterwards. And then my girl, she just told me something about like some large amount of children missing from Maui, and I was just like, yeah, it's some real dark forces happening out here. And you know what? I'm glad I chose God first. There's some real dark forces happening out here. And people do not mind selling their soul as long as they get a piece of the pie that the devil got coming out of the oven. As long as they get a piece of that pie. Because always remember the devil basically controls everything that's under this sky. Money, fame, fortune. You know, the fallen angels, they the ones who basically tarnished humanity, right? And now most of us are basically living and fiending off of the very things that we were taught. So now I'm basically at this point where I'm like, okay, I always kept this in mind. I can handle just about anything that comes my way. Why? Because God would not allow me to go through anything that I can't handle. Unless God is basically going to let them take my life, then I have to accept that, you know? I'm not a violent person. I'm not even a highly agitated person. I'm literally someone who's just trying to live and not be controlled or manipulated against my will. We're all born with free will for a reason. There's a reason every single human being on this planet is born with free will. The moment someone tries to tell you no longer have free will, you need to recognize exactly who's working through that person. You need to recognize that's not a human. That's not a regular human being. Any human being that tries to take away your free will, they got a whole nother type of spirit operating through them. I'm telling you, throw some holy water on some of these people and you might see somebody burn. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Anytime you feel like you're around some gang stalkers or whatever, just say the name Jesus. Say Jesus. Say God. Say Archangel Michael. Say anything that's holy. Anything that's holy. Say it around a bunch of gang stalkers and watch everything about them just shift. Watch everything about them shift. Now, right now, they basically closed both of my credit card accounts, and they're like, oh, well, you still are responsible for paying them down, but we just closed their accounts. So I'm like, so y'all not gonna like really try to figure, well, actually no, Capital One probably isn't the problem because they're getting the message out. They send out the payment request to the bank. So the problem gotta be either with the bank or maybe T-Mobile need to do something with their networking or something. Or maybe something needs to be done about these digital cell towers that's blanketing the entire New York City. And look, I got some perps that's been basically watching me this whole time. Now they want to turn and look away. Yeah, they all want to look a different direction. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But anyway, um, all that needs to happen is that very scene, that very end scene from They Live. Whatever's that transmitter, whatever that device is, that's the main connection for this entire system that they're using. Once that gets brought down, oh, it's an even ball game again. It's an even ball game again. You know, but them servers gotta go. Just gotta find out where they at. And you know they're probably heavily guarded buildings too. They're probably super guarded buildings. Matter of fact, I actually at one point I did a AI chatbot search for I did a search for buildings in New York City that are like basically hubs for cloud servers. And there's quite a few. I think there's at least I think it's less than a dozen though. I think it's less than a dozen buildings that are basically hubs for cloud servers, right? Cloud-based servers or whatever. So yeah, I was kind of upset about my cars being closed because I'm like, damn, I got to go through a whole nother process of like. But the other thing that's on my mind is, if they close the accounts, that should not affect. I hope it doesn't affect my my credit score. But if anything, I'm just going to dispute it, right? And then whatever information I have, I'm going to take the screenshot that I have of my account between the two dates, or between the dates that I was trying to make the payment and showing that I clearly have money in my account, but the payments weren't being taken out. I'm gonna send that to the FCC. I'm gonna send and I already contacted the FCC about these digital cell towers too. But obviously they're in cahoots. Obviously, I don't know. It's crazy to me to think like we got these big organizations and agencies, right? You telling me everybody in these places don't do the right thing? They all are dirty. They're all dirty. Nobody actually does the right thing. Nobody reports like shady stuff happening in the office. I guess not. Well, anyway, yeah, I still pay my bill either way. I'm just gonna have to do it the old school way. Whenever I get paid, just take out all my cash, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna start trying to take money out my account again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start taking all the cash out, and then just do everything in cash. Because that's the only way that they're really getting the most out of everything with this whole gang stalking thing, is the electronic harassment. If it wasn't for the electronics, it'd probably be just like gang stalking in the past without the technology, you know. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I'm good though. I'm doing all right. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.